The rain came down in sheets, soaking through her thin jacket and clinging to her simple gray dress like it didn't care. She was trying to make a good impression. Evelyn Ramirez stood outside the towering glass building with her resume crumpling slightly in her trembling hands, water streaming from her hair and down the curve of her back. She was 46 years old, a single mother of 3, and she had fought for everything she had ever earned. No college degrees adorned her wall. She didn't know the latest business jargon, and her phone had no fancy portfolio app. But she had something else: resilience. She had scrubbed toilets, vacuumed boardrooms, and washed countless floors in buildings just like this, sometimes this very building, though she wasn't sure. Today wasn't about cleaning. Today, it was about a second chance. The lobby sparkled. Marble floors, walls that reflected light like water. And people. People everywhere in tailored suits, clutching leather briefcases, talking on sleek phones with rehearsed poise and sharp posture. Evelyn stood out like a coffee stain on a white shirt. The receptionist didn't meet her eyes as she checked in. The others waiting with her looked polished, curated. She sat quietly, smoothing her dress and trying not to let the weight of her surroundings crush the small flame of hope still burning in her chest. Her name was finally called. Ms. Ramirez. She stood, nodded politely, and followed the assistant through a maze of bright hallways into a glass-walled conference room. The panel, 2 men, 1 woman, all looked up, nodded without smiling, and returned their attention to her resume. Their expressions never changed. "So, Evelyn, what brings you here today?" Her voice wavered slightly at first, but then steadied. "I'm looking for a new beginning." They nodded, scribbled, asked textbook questions. "What are your strengths? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Why do you want to work here?" She answered honestly, but her words felt heavy next to the polished confidence she imagined the others had. 10 minutes later, it was over. Just like that. One of the men looked at his watch. "Thank you for coming. We'll be in touch." Evelyn stood. "Thank you for your time. No handshakes, no worms, no interest, just a brush off." By the time she stepped outside, the rain had intensified. Her shoes squelched with every step, and the wind whipped her soaked dress against her legs. She tried to focus on her breathing, 1 foot in front of the other. Keep walking. Then she saw her, a young woman, maybe 22, standing near the copy room, clearly flustered. Her eyes were red, and she looked close to tears. A stack of papers was scattered on the floor, and the big copier beside her blinked angrily. "Paper jam?" Evelyn asked gently. The girl looked up, startled. "Yeah, it's been like this for over an hour. Nobody's had time to help. May I?" Evelyn stepped forward without waiting for permission. She set down her soaked folder, rolled up her sleeves, and peered into the machine. Within minutes, the copier clicked, then whirred. The jammed paper was cleared, the rollers aligned, and the girl's documents began printing. The intern gasped. "That was incredible. How did you?" Evelyn gave a soft chuckle. "Spent years working nights in offices like this. Copiers were my specialty." What she didn't see, what she couldn't have known, was that someone had been watching. Through the glass walls above, in a corner office lined with awards and modern art, the CEO stood with arms crossed, observing. His name was David Langford. He was 48, sharp, demanding, and brilliant. The kind of leader who built empires without ever losing a night's sleep. But something had been bothering him lately. A slow chill creeping into the company's culture. A loss of connection. A sense that his empire was becoming hollow. And here, in the middle of the rain-soaked chaos of his own lobby, a woman who had just been dismissed from an interview was fixing problems no one else noticed. With kindness. With grace. David stepped out of his office and made his way to the copier room. "You fixed that?" Evelyn turned, startled. "Yes, sir. I didn't mean to overstep." "What's your name?" "Evelyn Ramirez." He extended his hand. "I'm David." She hesitated, then shook it gently. His grip was firm, but not overbearing. "Walk with me," he said. They moved slowly through the quiet hallway. No one interrupted them. "You interviewed today?" "Yes, sir. For the admin coordinator role." He gave a soft grunt. "What did you think of the interview?" She smiled politely. I think they already made up their minds before I walked in. They reached the end of the corridor, where a small indoor garden overlooked the city. Rain streaked down the windows. Tell me about your life, he said. And she did. She told him about her 3 kids, about cleaning office buildings to put them through school, about missed birthdays and sacrifices, about believing in work done quietly and well, even when no one saw. David listened. This woman, whose resume had been passed over without a second glance, had just shown more initiative, humanity, and insight in 10 minutes than some of his top executives had in years. Evelyn, he said softly, would you come back tomorrow? She blinked. For what? I want to offer you a trial position. Not the job you applied for. Something different. Something important. I need someone in this building who sees people, who listens, who doesn't walk past broken things. She stared at him, stunned. But I don't have qualifications for something like that. David smiled. You have exactly what I need. The next day, Evelyn returned. Her gray dress was dry, her shoulders straighter, her eyes brighter. Her badge read, Special Assistant to the CEO. At first, people didn't know what to make of her. She wasn't in the hierarchy. She didn't carry reports or wear designer shoes. But slowly, something shifted. Evelyn remembered birthdays. She left notes of encouragement. She asked how people were doing and meant it. She brought muffins on Mondays. She helped the maintenance crew during their rushes. She knew which intern was homesick and which senior engineer hadn't taken a vacation in years. When someone cried in the hallway, Evelyn didn't look away. She offered a tissue and a seat. She didn't lead meetings or close deals. She didn't program software or manage accounts. But she changed everything. David noticed. His company, once sleek but cold, began to breathe again. People laughed in elevators. Lunches were shared. Ideas flowed freely between levels. And somewhere between copier rooms and break room chats, Evelyn became the heart of the company. Years later, Evelyn retired. The day was quiet at first. She thought they had forgotten. Then she walked into the main conference hall and found the entire staff waiting. Balloons, banners, flowers, and David Langford, now a little older, with a grayer beard and softer eyes, stood at the front. He cleared his throat. Evelyn Ramirez didn't code software. She didn't bring in revenue. But she brought something much harder to find. Kindness, grace, humanity. One by one, people stood and shared stories. How she helped them through a loss. How she gave them courage. How she made them feel seen. And in turn, now a manager, wiped away tears. She fixed more than just the copier. She fixed us. David raised his glass. To Evelyn, who reminded us what really matters. As the applause thundered through the room, Evelyn stood quietly, hand over her heart. She hadn't rewritten the future. She hadn't chased glory. She had simply cared. And in a world spinning faster every day, that was exactly what it needed.